this is Shadrach ASMR yet again. And this time in this philosophical mukbang, there's been a lot going on with me that I really want to discuss in regard to how I've been treated as of late by haters. And the thing is that the reason that some people often write off someone as a bad person is so they don't feel guilty about the way they've treated them and abused them. It's a rather sad fact of life that you have all these people that want to say, oh, he's a bad person, so they can continue abusing it. It's like, have you ever been in school before? So I'm sure we all know about the one kid in the classroom, or the entire school, that everyone seemed to have hated because other people were hating them, or because someone said they were a creeper or freak or whatever. And it's no fault of the kid. It's no fault of the reject. Because you have to understand that some people, they look at the world differently, or they just, have that unfortunate rotten luck of being singled out. And then you wonder sometimes about the kid in question. That you actually sat down and started talking to them, you started to realize that they were a good, decent kid at heart. And it just upsets me that there are a lot of people like that. I've seen it before. I've experienced it. And whoever's watching this video, you may have experienced it yourself. It's just one of those weird things. But what gets to me is when people treat that person like dirt because everyone else is doing it. Just because someone is the odd one out doesn't mean you gotta treat them like dirt. Here's a suggestion. Get to know the guy. Get to know the woman, Maybe you'll find out a lot of things about them you really didn't know. The same was with me. A lot of people said that, yes, Shadrach does come off quirky and odd, but when you actually get to talk to them, man, you might find out some things about him that are pretty cool. And, you might just learn something new. I once had a coworker whom at first thought I was kind of off-putting, When he actually sat down and started talking to me, he found out, hey, Shadrach, you seem like a good guy. And that's just the thing. Because the longer you talk to the odd one out, you actually sit down and talk with the odd one out, you learn to realize that this person seems like a decent fella or lady. This is good. This is actually a tortilla with spaghetti sauce, Parmesan cheese, and I'm scratching my nose, by the way, in case I'm But anyways, this is tortilla wrap with spaghetti sauce, Parmesan cheese, and pepperoni. What's the point of, writing someone off if you think they're a freak or whatever, fine. We all have our individual quirks. Some come off a little quirky than others, but it doesn't make them less of a person. I mean, and what even gets to me is people hating someone because everyone else hates them. I've never understood the logic of everyone hating on someone because everyone else hates him. Because just because one person hates him doesn't mean you have to hate them. I have to ponder, all the negativity I've been receiving in the ASMR community as of late, from all the blockers. I'm willing to suspect, and I'm even willing to bet some money, that the vast majority of them have me blocked because someone else told them to block me. Well, I've done my share of screw-ups, I admit. But that's another thing I want to get to. Dragging someone's name through the mud because they screwed up. Now, there are some people who do deserve the negativity, such as Jim Chi and Crinkle Lovin'. But there are others that are just a victim of circumstance. But in the case of Jim Chi ASMR and Crinkle Lovin', those two, from what I understand, what those two did was very criminal and wrong. So some ostrazation is acceptable. And some people's, it's not. I'll let you figure out whose ostrazation is unwarranted and undeserved. But still, I never understood ostrazation in general. I thought, the entire, I'm going to use the ASMR community in general, I thought the entire community was all about, working together for, networking and communicating. Unfortunately, things just don't add up to that anymore. There are a few ASMR cliques that are keeping the old traditions alive. There are some groups on Facebook that are keeping the old traditions alive, but it seems that the main community that's on Twitter seems to be absorbed into drama. But I got too much on my plate to worry about that. I got my own issues and ordeals to work out on. So, in the meantime, but back on the original topic, ostracizing someone because of one reason or another, that's largely imagined. Because they think differently than we do. Or they have, some sort of a interest that most of us don't even share or think is kind of odd. Why should you write them off? It's just very unusual. And then you have those that if, they dropped the ball at some point in their lives, why are we still beating up on them? If they're willing to make amends and willing to do better, we should give them the chance. Well, anyways, that's just how I feel about it. This is so good, by the way. But in closing, if someone really does want to make amends and do better with themselves, I think it's time we give that person a chance and an opportunity. I say wipe the slate clean. Even regardless of their actions, but then again, now in my case, I did things in the heat of anger. But in the case of, say, Crinkle Lovin' and Jim Chi, those two have a lot harder road to pull. what they did was wrong. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But in closing, I want to know everyone else's opinions. It can be about me, because I'm all about open dialogue. Anyways, that's all I got to say.